Welcome to the LU Moment. This is the official podcast of Lamar University, where we showcase all of the great things happening here with our faculty, staff, students, and alumni. And if you can't tell today, I have a very special guest, Dr. Jaime Taylor. He is the 16th president of Lamar University. And thank you so much, Dr. Taylor, for being here today. I know you're a busy man, so thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Glad to have you. It's a privilege. So I guess I should introduce myself. I'm John Rollins. I'm the Associate Director of Community Relations and Public Affairs here at Lamar and the host of the LU Moment podcast. So let's go ahead and get into it. 2 years ago, 2023, Lamar celebrated our centennial year. And since then, we have made history in several ways. So let's go ahead and start with the recent OCU designation. What is that?
So OCU, it's an Opportunity College and University. So Lamar University was recently named an Opportunity University. And what that means is basically it's a new Carnegie classification. And Carnegie is the classification organization for higher education. And this new classification it's very simple. It's access and earnings. And so you can have low access, low earning, high access, high earning. And there's actually 6 categories. And so obviously if you're low access, low earning, it'd be really hard to get in. You have to have a high ACT score. But when you graduate, you don't make a lot of money. So that's not good.
Right.
But so you could think of something like MIT, Rice, Caltech, very hard to get in, like Harvard. But if you do get in, you get a degree, you make a lot of money. We're in the top category where it's easy to get in. It's not hard to get into Lamar, but if you get in, you get a degree, you make a lot of money. And that's the only classification or category that they actually named, and that's an Opportunity University. And I think it speaks to what we are here at Lamar University. We're here for Southeast Texas. Our degree programs are oriented to help industry. And so if you get a degree from Lamar University, you have something very valuable and industry wants it.
Yeah, perfectly said. To put it simply, high access, high earnings, right?
High access, high earning.
Which is what everybody wants.
Yeah.
We're accessible. We have students tell us all the time we're affordable. They leave Lamar ready to go with a career ready. We use that term a lot.
Yeah.
But they're ready to get into the workforce, start making a living, all the things. So.
Well, and people hear me say this all the time. Our engineering graduates make more money than MIT, Stanford, and Harvard graduates over their first 20 years of the career. And so it speaks to who we are here at Lamar University.
Yep. Speaks volumes for sure.
Okay.
So beyond that, we sort of created history twice in the last 2 years with the Commissioner's Cup.
Oh.
So I guess for the viewers who don't know what that is, would you like to explain a little bit about that?
So the Commissioner's Cup is given to the outstanding athletic program in each conference. And so we're in the Southland. There's 12 universities in the Southland.
Yeah.
And last year was the first time Lamar University had ever won the Commissioner's Cup. And so, last year we kind of made history by winning it, and then we won it again this year. So it's very exciting that, we're recognized as having the best athletic program in the Southland. And it's not a trivial award. It's a big-time award.
Yeah, and my favorite part about this award is it's the overall best athletic program, which means it touches on all of the sports here at Lamar.
And the other thing I like to talk about, which is not part of the award, but I think it's, to me, very important, is that our coaches feel strongly about the student-athlete experience. When you meet our student athletes, our coaches care about them.
Yes.
They care about them on a personal level, and they're making sure they get their degree. Our football team had the best GPA since bringing back football this last year. Academically, our student athletes are doing extremely well, and they love being here. And you can tell when the parents come back that they love our coaches. So that to me, that's also very important, although that doesn't show up as part of the award.
Yeah, well, that's a great point as well. You have to be comfortable with the individuals who are here with your students.
Yeah. Well, and when you talk to the athletes, like I said, it's clear that our coaches care deeply about our student athletes, and they want to be successful in, winning,
right?
But they also wanted to be successful.
They're invested
in life.
in them as human beings as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that you bring up the GPA because they are student athletes.
Exactly.
So that's something we definitely always try to highlight.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm a physicist. I like the fact that they're student first, then athletes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all works together. So the R2 research designation, we were given that recently as as well, which is a huge deal, and that has to do with the number of doctorate programs on campus, and then also the research activity that takes place, which we know Lamar stands out in both of those regards.
Absolutely, and this is another part of the Carnegie classification. So they classify institutions as research-wise, and then of course the opportunity and access and earnings. But with research, we're in the second highest category, and so R1 would be your UT Austin, Texas A&M, and we're right next to that, which is amazing. And it's about the amount of money that you bring in. You know, how much research, when it says research activity, it's funded research. And so we have a lot of funded research on the Lamar campus. And there was only 27 universities out of 4,000 that were R2 and Opportunity University.
Yeah, that's huge for Lamar. You know, and you speak about research with relevance. I've heard you say that a few times. Yeah. So I know we've got a really large cybersecurity grant recently. So that's just one example of kind of the cutting edge research that's taking place here at Lamar.
Absolutely. I want to stay true to who we are here at Lamar University and do the things, again, that help Southeast Texas. And so when it comes to research, we want to do research. We want our students involved in that. But at the same time, we want that research to be practical and be beneficial to Southeast Texas. Just like, and it's not just cybersecurity, it's cybersecurity for infrastructure. People remember the Colonial Pipeline hack on the midstream. And so we are investigating how to protect our infrastructure here in America. And we're going to be one of the leaders in that area.
Love that. Fantastic. Yeah. So beyond that, you know, there have been several upgrades and renovations taking place on campus. Let's go ahead and start with the library. You know, I was doing my research. The library was built, next year will be 50 years ago.
Wow.
1976. So that's huge. So it's a staple around here. And I know we were chatting the other day. It's the first thing you really see when you pull up to, I mean, you see our Welcome Center first,
right,
but you see the library.
Yeah, and you see it from so far away. And President John Gray, it's named the John Gray Library, he had that was his idea. I'm going to make it he was going to make it 8 stories. So that's the first thing that you see when you're driving, you know, towards the campus. And so it is an iconic structure here on campus. And of course, a lot of people know that it was, if you watch Shrek, that the Shrek Castle was modeled after our library. But with the new renovation, it's going to be all windows. It's going to have a whole new look. And, you know, it's not just about the look. It's about the experience for our students. Now that it's all windows, you're going to have natural lighting on the inside. And we're very focused on the student experience within that library.
Yeah, and it makes it more welcoming. Beyond that, the services that will be offered there, I know that STAR Services, which is tutoring and retention services, as well as the Writing Center and a couple of other things, are all going to be under one roof together. So it's this student resource hub, basically.
Very good point. You know, libraries have morphed over the last 20 years. And, you know, in the past, it was a place that, you know, you went to find a book or a journal.
Right.
Well, it turns out, you know, that's not what libraries are really about. Libraries are about that experience where you have librarians that help students access information. Well, a lot of information is now online, and we put a lot of effort over the last 3 years of getting more of all of our journals online, our books online, and what that did is it freed up space for more student library interaction. Okay. And so I always say it's, you know, you don't want it to be just a storage facility. You want it to be an interaction. It's going to become the academic hub of our campus.
Yeah, fantastic. Cannot wait for the finished product. Every time I walk by, I see the windows now. It's so awesome. So beyond that, you know, our dining hall went through some renovations, new flooring, new furniture, even the offerings there. It's an open concept now. So what do you think about that?
Oh, I love it. Actually, my wife and I eat over there fairly regular.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, we live on campus.
Yeah.
And the food is so good.
It is.
I love going over there to eat. But, you know, for the students, it's just a great experience. And you know, it's a great place, but the staff are also amazingly nice over there.
Yeah, and faculty and staff can eat there, I think, for like $8.
Oh, it's crazy.
I'm like, why not? It's right here on campus. Why not go enjoy it? We've updated Wi-Fi. I know that there have been 2,500 personal wireless access points put into the student rooms. I think that's huge for our students.
The biggest complaint we were getting 3 years ago from our students that lived in the dorm the biggest complaint, I got lots of emails, was poor Wi-Fi service. And we had an external company operating that, and they were doing a very poor job. So we basically got out of that contract and spent $3 million to beef up our Wi-Fi, because that's where learning takes place now. When our students are in the dorms, they access their classes through Wi-Fi.
Right.
So we want to make sure they had great Wi-Fi.
Yeah, access to Blackboard and all the things, especially the online students, right?
Yeah.
And then we've also moved our student health center to a more central location. It's right there at the Sheila Humphrey Recreational Sports Center, right when you walk into the right. And there's mental health needs are being met there. They've got a pharmacy in there, which I think maybe a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
So how do you think that's enhanced the student experience?
Yeah, it just makes a lot of sense to have the student health facility right there with the rec center. And of course, we have a fabulous rec center.
We do.
With the climbing wall, and it's very modern. And so students are already using the rec center. And so now they, where the student health center is kind of off the beaten path, a lot of students didn't even know we had it.
Right.
Now they pass it every day, and if something happens, they know exactly where to go for their health needs.
Yep. Let's also touch on, athletic upgrades and investments. I know we were chatting earlier about the floor at the Montaigne Center, and I think you have a story about Jeff O'Malley you'd like to share.
Yeah, I love telling this story. The athletic director, Jeff O'Malley, we knew each other at Marshall University. He came down for his press conference, and he goes, "Hey, while I'm here, can I look at the facilities?" Yeah. So one of the first things I did was we walked into the Montaigne, and I started pointing things out, and all of a sudden I noticed he's like standing over on the floor, stomping on it. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Yeah, we need a new floor." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It looks beautiful." I said, "We don't need a new floor. That's $500,000. I think you're fired." But he said, no, seriously. He said, "This floor is hard." He said, "Do you have injuries?" I'm like, well, yeah. I said, "Last year we almost had a forfeit one of the men's game because we could only dress out 7 players." And he said, "It's the floor that's causing the injuries."
Oh, wow.
And so, a lot of people don't know what an athletic director does, but that's just kind of an example. They put the coaches in a position to win. But it's behind the scenes things that most people never recognize that are happening. And so he's doing a lot of those things behind the scenes to really help our coaches out. And of course, I already talked about our coaches earlier. Could not be happier with our coaches and their attitude and how much they want the student athlete experience.
Yeah. Well, I think bringing that up is very important because I had Jeff sitting in this seat on the video podcast about a year ago, just kind of recapping athletics and things. And he mentioned that floor was 40 years old, and they normally have a shelf life of about 10 years. So they really were playing on some old.
It was bad, and you don't think about it. But if anybody comes to the game, walk out on the floor. The new one we have is kind of a little bouncy.
Yeah, it got a little bounce to it.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. We love that. So much better for our student athletes.
100% better for the students.
So beyond that, any other athletic upgrades you'd like to mention?
We've done a huge amount of upgrade to the Montaigne and to the Provost Humphrey Stadium. The stadium has a new jumbotron, and then of course there's a new jumbotron in the Montaigne, and those things are very expensive, but we needed to have it. It wasn't just a nicety. Those things were going out, and especially the sound systems. It was really hard to make out what people were saying. And so that has really, I think, helped with the fan experience when you come out and you get to see this nice jumbotron, nice sound system. Just a whole new experience for our fans.
Yeah, no, I love that. And the jumbotron, you can see that driving down the road as well.
Exactly,
it's
huge.
Jumbo indeed.
It is.
So let's go ahead and talk about, in the fall of 2024, we saw record enrollment numbers. I believe a 12% increase in freshman enrollment. So what do you attribute that to?
I attribute it to the experience we're giving to students on campus. I'm a physicist. I used to think that, I was a professor. They learn only from me. But as I got older, I realized that there's a lot of learning that takes place outside the classroom. A matter of fact, when you look at success of individuals, it turns out that I think about 85% of their success is based on their social IQ, not their IQ. It hurts people like me. So I had to develop the social interaction. But I tell students all the time that social part's very important, and so we're invested in that. This last year, most people know our Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Freddie Titus.
Yes.
Once he took over, he increased the number of students participating in out of the classroom activities by 50% in 1 year.
Oh, wow.
And so that experience, we have a new intramural field. The intramural field is amazing. And that's all about the student experience outside the classroom and helping them with that social experience, because that's a big part of what's going to help them be successful in life.
Yeah, well, I love that you bring up the intramural field. When we were talking about upgrades across campus, I didn't mention that. So that is actually complete now.
Yeah. And it's one of those rare experiences as a president where you have a huge win-win-win situation. So right before this, the band practiced on a parking lot.
In a parking
They
lot,
talk
yeah.
about being bad for your ankles of that.
Right,
It's hot in the
right.
summer. You're practicing on
Yeah.
asphalt. So when I first, my first year here, I was walking around campus with the band director, and I said, "Why don't you practice out in this field? I mean, that seems like it'd be a lot better than a parking lot." He said, Southeast Texas, we can't do that because, as you know, the last couple of days we had 5 inches of rain yesterday.
Right.
Yeah, so you can't do that. He goes, "But if you turf it, we could do it." And I said, "Well, that's never going to happen." But the more I thought about it, I'm like, okay, if we turf that field, we get a parking lot back for our students, the band gets a practice facility, and we get an intramural facility at night. So the band will practice in the afternoon, other students get his intramural at night, and right now intramural has been on the old golf practice facility. So the golf team gets their practice facility back. So everybody walks away a winner.
Yeah.
And it's rare that you get that kind of an opportunity.
Win-win-win. I love
Yeah.
it. So speaking back to this student engagement piece of everything, last year we hosted a concert to coincide with homecoming. It was the Friday before the
Yep.
homecoming football game. And Dr. Titus and the student affairs team did an amazing job. But I think the best part of that was that the students got to vote on the entertainment.
Yeah.
So they felt like they were part of the process.
This is another thing and
Yeah.
so we're doing that again this year. The students are voting. There's a big long process they narrow
Right.
it down. They get it to the top couple, and then they have a vote on the top couple. And so, Dr. Titus is all about the students, and the students feel it. That
Yeah,
when you're around
they
him,
do.
he cares about students.
Right.
And so I suspect we'll have another huge crowd for that. And the way he's doing it right before homecoming to start drawing that crowd in. So our homecoming week is going to be a big week at Lamar University this year.
Yeah, can't wait. And we're building new traditions on campus. That's essentially what
We
it all
are.
comes down to.
The most recent one was the ring ceremony.
Oh, yes.
They were
Right.
told that if they do a ring op thing, it might have 12 or 14 students. I think there was like 120 or something
Yeah.
that showed up. And that was the first year.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I remember Balfour telling them that you might get 10.
You might get 10.
So, yeah.
And it was packed, and all the families were there. So it wasn't just 120 students, it was 120 families.
That's fantastic.
And they all, the feedback we got on that was great in terms of what it meant to those families. So just like everything else, things are growing fast here.
Love it. So beyond that, there has been increased attendance across the board at athletic events, theater productions, dance productions, all the things at Lamar University. I know I spoke to someone in the theater department, and they said they had at least one show of every single production this season sold out, which is huge. I don't think that's happened in years. So,
Well, and that's, I'm glad you brought that up, because sometimes the fine arts don't get mentioned along with athletics.
Right,
But we got such an amazing fine arts
We do.
college. And I went to it wasn't a musical, but it was a music montage last year.
right.
So amazing. I remember
yeah.
we went, a group of us went out at dinner afterwards, and we just couldn't stop talking about how awesome it was. So if you haven't been to one of our music presentations or theater, you really need to come on campus for that, because it truly is amazing and a great experience.
Yep, top notch. We got some top notch talent here on campus.
We have top-notch talent
And
here.
we've got top notch leaders who are,
In those
preparing
areas.
those students. Yeah.
It's
sure.
amazing when you go to that, and that's one of the great things about having a university in your hometown is you get to experience those kind of things.
Oh, yeah. And the same goes for the Dishman Art Museum. We have a senior thesis show at the end of every semester, so you can see our students' work on display. We have an alumni show. I think it's called Alumni After art after school or something like that.
Yeah, and
So
we got the
that's-
Friend of the Arts that always come out and support those type of events. So really appreciate the support we get from the Friends of the Arts. But then God, as you said, it's so cool going to those type of things. And this is world-class stuff that you get to see.
Yeah.
And right here at Lamar
And
University.
Dishman's free and open to the public.
Exactly.
No
Yeah,
excuse not to come check it out, right?
that's right.
So, I know we've talked a lot about athletics, but there's also been increased attendance with athletics this year, which I think is huge. We're trying to increase that as these commissioners' cups and things come along. It's
and
important.
a lot of people winning will help bring people back, and we are winning, but it's also that tradition and creating a fan experience. And so we're really working on that. This year, I get almost all these baseball games, and it's so funny listening to what the people do between the when batters are going up and coming out, and some of the things they say. If you haven't been to one of those a game like that, it's just fun to sit there and listen. And just like I said, we're really focused on that fan experience at our games.
Yeah. And the student experience. You speak about fun sporting events. I attended several basketball games this year and bringing back, I think they're calling it the flock. It's the student section.
Yes.
Seeing the students get into it just brings this new energy out of you as a fan because you're like, okay.
The highest attended athletic event of all the Southland this year was the McNeese Lamar game here on our campus.
Okay.
Not when they played in the championship
Yeah.
at McNeese, but when they played here on our campus.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was mostly because of the students. And what was real fun was I could see the students texting each other, and the attendance kept growing as the game went further on. It's like, hey, you got to get out here. This is a heck of a game. You got to watch this.
And that's all it takes is them to help spread the word. And something that's also kind of neat is that athletes are supporting athletes. And I know that the coaches push that.
They do. The coaches are pushing the athletes to go to the other events. And if you go to a soccer game, you'll see all these trucks there with baseball players or that. You go to a softball game, there's all these football players there. And the basketball team is going to volleyball. It's just like everybody's helping, supporting the other teams, and they truly want to support them. And they all get to know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something, I guess we can kind of wrap up with this. This is Lamar adjacent, the Spindletop Boomtown Museum. There's a lot of activity going on over there for the better. I know they're planning to host a student activity at least once a month, and I think there's some great movement happening. Do you want to speak about that?
So what's happening is, the first year I was here, the biggest complaint I got from students, particularly student athletes that were here all the time, is that they didn't have anything to do on a Friday or Saturday night. And so, I really took that to heart. And what we're doing over at Spindletop is we're building our own bar and grill. And so this is mostly going to be for students. It's going to provide them a very safe environment here on campus where they have something to do on a Friday and Saturday night. And the bar and grill is going to be just right adjacent to Spindletop. It's going to be kind of like a sports bar. So it'll have TVs and all that. And we're going to start by opening it on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night. And on Wednesday night, we're going to do our coaches show out there, which is going to be awesome.
That'll be great. Especially faculty and staff when they get off work could just stop
right over there. And we'll run a little shuttle between our dorms and that so that the students can get over there safely. But I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be really fun for our students. And I'm glad you brought up faculty and staff. It's going to give us everybody on campus a place where after work we can all talk to each other and intermingle. Right. And a lot of your best ideas happen during those relaxing interactions.
That's when they come out for sure. But beyond that, I know there's going to be K through 12 programming coming out. They're working on that right now. Some curriculum that's going to be provided during these, I guess, what do you call them? Field trips out away from school. And then once a month, there will be some type of student activity.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have some music out there, some events, and those are going to be open to the public, not just because I really want the public to come on campus and interact with our students. And that's, to me, what is really exciting. To see, especially individuals that graduated from here, come back on campus and interact with our faculty and staff, and they're like, "Oh man, look! Wish they had this when I was a student."
I think you bring up a really great point, and that's kind of what this episode is all about: is come to campus, check things out. We've got upgrades, renovations, student engagement, athletics, theater productions, all the things. What do you think?
Anything you're interested in, we probably have it right here at Lamar University. As you said earlier, art exhibits, theater, music, all the athletic events. We're going to have the stuff at Spindletop. This is going to, I want to make this a happening place that the community comes out on a regular basis. And also at the intramural field, we're going to have a walking trail around it.
Oh, okay.
And if things go well, we're working on this with the city. We want to put some exercise equipment around there. And that's going to be specifically for the public so that they can come on campus and have a place to go walking.
Fantastic. Lots of exciting things taking place at Lamar University, right?
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be here.
This is the time to do it. We have our See for Yourself campaign going on right now as well. So I guess that's how we can end it. Come to Lamar soon and see for yourself. So Dr. Taylor, thanks again for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
It's been great. That's a wrap on this episode of the LU Moment. Don't forget to search LU Moment wherever you get your podcasts to keep up with the people, places, programs, and events right here at Lamar University. Follow LU on our socials. It's simple. Just search Lamar University on your preferred social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future episodes. This is John Rollins, your host, saying thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.